You're staring at your bank account, and the numbers stare back at you like a judgment. Bills pile up, opportunities slip away because you can't afford them, and every financial decision feels like walking on thin ice. You wonder what you did wrong, why money seems to flow so easily to others while you're stuck in this endless cycle of not enough. But what if I told you that your financial struggle isn't a punishment? It's a precision-designed curriculum for your consciousness. Most people think money is just paper and numbers, a neutral tool for exchanging value. But money is actually one of the most powerful mirrors of your inner world that exists. The way money flows or doesn't flow in your life is showing you exactly what's happening in your consciousness that you can't see any other way. Think about it. Money touches every area of your life: your sense of security, your self-worth, your relationships, your dreams, your fears. When money becomes scarce, it's like reality is holding up a magnifying glass to every hidden belief you carry about whether you deserve good things, whether the world is safe, whether you're worthy of support. Your financial situation isn't random. It's a direct reflection of your internal programming about abundance, scarcity, worth, and power. Here's what's really happening when you're going through financial difficulty. Your consciousness has certain codes running in the background, beliefs about money that were programmed into you before you were even aware you had them. Maybe your family taught you that money is scarce and you have to fight for every dollar. Maybe you learned that wanting money makes you greedy or shallow. Maybe you absorbed the idea that financial struggle builds character, so part of you unconsciously creates it. These aren't conscious thoughts. They're deeper programming that runs automatically, like the operating system on your phone. And just like your phone occasionally needs a complete system update, your consciousness sometimes needs to completely reprogram its relationship with abundance. The financial struggle you're experiencing is that reprogramming process in action. When money becomes tight, something fascinating happens in your brain. Ancient survival circuits activate, the same ones that helped your ancestors survive when resources were genuinely scarce. Your nervous system shifts into what neuroscientists call threat detection mode. Every financial decision becomes loaded with life or death intensity. But here's the thing. In this heightened state, your consciousness becomes incredibly receptive to new information. It's like your mental software is in installation mode, ready to accept new programming about how abundance actually works. The universe isn't making you struggle with money because it wants you to suffer. It's creating conditions where your old limiting beliefs about abundance become so uncomfortable that you're finally motivated to examine and change them. Think about it like this. If you were completely comfortable financially, would you ever question your relationship with money? Would you ever dig deep enough to discover the unconscious patterns that limit how much good you allow into your life? Probably not. Comfort doesn't inspire transformation. Discomfort does. Your financial struggle is like a spiritual gym membership. Every time you have to figure out how to pay a bill with money you don't have, you're building new neural pathways around resourcefulness. Every time you have to ask for help, you're updating your programming about whether you deserve support. Every time you find a way through what seems impossible, you're proving to your subconscious that you're more capable than your old programming believed. The struggle isn't the punishment. The struggle is the training. But here's where most people get stuck. They focus all their attention on trying to solve the money problem externally, while completely ignoring the internal transformation that the money problem is designed to create. They look for more income, better opportunities, different strategies, but they never address the consciousness that created the financial limitation in the first place. It's like trying to change what's showing on your TV screen by touching the screen instead of changing the channel. The external financial situation is just the screen. The real control system is your internal relationship with abundance. When you understand this, everything changes. Instead of seeing financial difficulty as evidence that something's wrong with you or your life, you start seeing it as evidence that something's trying to upgrade in your consciousness. Technical moment. If what you're hearing right now resonates with you, hit subscribe. It shows that this information is valuable. Now, let me tell you about the hidden mechanics of how this transformation actually works. Your brain has what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity, the ability to literally rewire itself based on new experiences and insights. But this rewiring happens most rapidly during periods of challenge, when your existing patterns aren't working anymore. Financial stress creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, a state where your current beliefs and your current reality don't match. This dissonance is uncomfortable, but it's also the exact condition that motivates your brain to form new neural pathways. Every time you find money you didn't expect, your brain notes. Abundance can appear unexpectedly. Every time someone helps you financially, your brain updates. Support is available. Every time you discover you can live on less than you thought, your brain learns. Security isn't as fragile as I believed. These new neural pathways are literally changing your internal abundance code. But the process only works if you're paying attention to these updates instead of just focusing on the stress. Think about people you know who went through significant financial difficulty and came out stronger. They didn't just earn more money. They developed a completely different relationship with security, resourcefulness, and self-worth. They learned to find abundance in places they never looked before. They discovered capabilities they never knew they had. The financial struggle taught them something that no amount of money could have taught them. True abundance isn't about how much you have. It's about how creative and resilient and connected you become in response to having less. This is why some people can lose everything financially and rebuild bigger than before, while others can inherit wealth and somehow lose it all. It's not about the external circumstances. It's about the internal programming that creates those circumstances. Your current financial situation is showing you exactly what needs to be reprogrammed in your consciousness for you to access levels of abundance you've never experienced before. But here's the key insight that most people miss. The transformation isn't about learning to want money less. It's about learning to receive abundance more. Financial struggle often comes from unconscious patterns of deflecting or limiting the good things that want to flow toward you. Maybe you learned that accepting help makes you a burden, so you unconsciously reject opportunities for support. Maybe you learned that having more than others is selfish, so you unconsciously sabotage your own success. Maybe you learned that financial security is an illusion anyway, so you unconsciously create instability to match that belief. The financial difficulty is creating situations where these unconscious patterns become visible so you can finally address them consciously. Here's how you know the transformation is working. You start noticing abundance in forms you previously overlooked. A friend offers to cook you dinner, and instead of feeling embarrassed about needing help, you feel grateful for the connection. You find a way to solve a problem with creativity instead of money, and instead of feeling deprived, you feel proud of your resourcefulness. You begin to see that abundance isn't just about financial wealth. It's about richness of experience, depth of relationships, creativity of solutions, and resilience of spirit. When you start recognizing these other forms of abundance, something shifts in your energy. You stop radiating the desperate frequency of "I don't have enough" and start radiating the confident frequency of "I can work with whatever I have." And here's what's remarkable. That shift in frequency changes how opportunities respond to you. People start offering help more readily because your energy doesn't feel needy anymore. Possibilities start appearing, because you're not blocking them with scarcity thinking. Money starts flowing more easily because you're no longer unconsciously rejecting it. The universe wasn't withholding abundance from you. You were unconsciously blocking abundance from reaching you. And the financial struggle was designed to help you discover and remove those blocks. But here's the most important thing to understand about this process. You don't graduate from it by finally getting enough money to feel secure. You graduate from it by no longer needing external security to feel abundant. When you can feel genuinely wealthy while having very little, you've cracked the code. When you can navigate financial uncertainty with curiosity instead of panic, you've updated your programming. When you can receive abundance in whatever form it appears without needing it to be money, you've learned what the universe was trying to teach you. And that's when money stops being a problem and starts being just one of many ways that abundance flows through your life. The financial struggle isn't testing whether you're worthy of abundance. It's teaching you that your worthiness was never in question. Only your ability to recognize and receive the abundance that was always available to you. Every bill you couldn't pay taught you something about resourcefulness. Every moment you had to ask for help taught you something about connection. Every time you found a way through what seemed impossible taught you something about your own capability. The struggle wasn't breaking you down. It was building you up into someone who could handle much greater levels of abundance without losing themselves in it. True abundance isn't about having so much money that you never have to think about it. True abundance is about being so aligned with the flow of life that money becomes just one of many forms of energy that moves through you naturally. When you understand this, you stop trying to hoard abundance and start learning to channel it. You stop asking, "How can I get more?" and start asking, "How can I become someone through whom more can flow?" That shift in question changes everything. Instead of trying to capture abundance, you become a conduit for it. Instead of worrying about having enough, you focus on being useful enough that abundance wants to flow toward and through you. The financial difficulty you've been experiencing has been preparing you for this shift. Every moment of not having enough has been teaching you that your security doesn't come from external accumulation. It comes from internal alignment with the intelligence that creates abundance in the first place. You're not learning to settle for less. You're learning to access more than you ever imagined possible, but from a completely different source than you were originally looking toward. The test is almost complete. the new programming is almost installed. The person who can receive abundance without being corrupted by it, who can navigate scarcity without being diminished by it, who can flow with the natural rhythms of expansion and contraction. That person is who you're becoming. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments, "I am abundance." Write it as your declaration that you understand what you've been learning. The struggle was never about money. It was about remembering who you really are underneath all the programming about limitation. Nobody